My name is Lindsay Lee Hobson, and I work with organisations to elevate their emerging leaders and create the ultimate next generation of leadership. I'm also the founder of the Learning and Development Forum, where driven and passionate L&D professionals come together to exchange trending topics and innovative ideas and the best suppliers for the 2022 and beyond calendars. And in a couple of weeks, I'm very excited to say that we're running our second, not our first, our second conference in the Metaverse. We're going to be exploring all things L&D and impact. So how can you efficiently and effectively demonstrate your value to the company and to the individuals in it? And we have here today with us one of the incredible speakers for the conference. Welcome Gina Meibusch, who works for the Art of Mentoring, who just quietly is one of the most asked for suppliers by our Learning and Development Forum members. So I'm so excited to be running this interview today, and I know all our forum members who are watching are going to be like, yay, finally, Gina, it's so nice to meet you. Welcome, Gina.
Hi, Lindsay. Thanks for inviting me along.
Oh, absolute pleasure. As I said, we're so excited to have you here. And I understand too that your role in particular, you've been with Art of Mentoring for a little while, but you've just stepped into a new role. So tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah, look, I joined Art of Mentoring about 4.5 years ago, and I'd been involved in mentoring before then, for some women in resources and girl guides and things like that. But when I joined Art of Mentoring, all of a sudden I got this great experience, exposure to a whole lot of different clients, helping them to implement and manage mentoring programs. And I'm really pleased that fairly recently I've stepped into a new role, which is Senior Program Designer. So I have a background in engineering and psychology, and the technology and being a part of helping that to develop as part of the Senior Program Designer just means that I really get to use all of the things that I've trained with and practiced and really enjoy. So the new role for me, it's a bit of a variety of things. Pre-sales consulting. So I talk with a lot of clients about what it is they'd like to achieve with their mentoring program and how we can make sure that, that we understand what success is going to look like, and we can measure that and make sure that they get what they expect from the program. Also, things like research, our programs are all very evidence-based. So we look for gaps in the understanding of mentoring, how it works, and do our own research, as well as looking at what's out there in academia and among other organisations and other practitioners. So I've got a great research role like that as well. And I get to do great things like speak like we are today. So it's really exciting. I'm so thrilled about the things that I'm learning every day.
It's such a big area. Leadership development is so huge and it's developing so quickly. It takes a lot of concentration and focus to stay on the forefront of it, which you guys are doing such an incredible topic for the conference itself. It's around retaining talent through strategic mentoring and leadership development as well. So such an incredible part of organizational development and such an important part of what we're about to step into in the next 12 months, or word on the street is anyway for L&D particularly, about being able to demonstrate that impact. But tell us a little bit more about your topic and the impact it has for L&D professionals.
Yeah, sure. Look, I'm going to be talking about strategic mentoring and how it can, one of the great strategic mentoring purposes is that leadership development from within your organization. So it's really about engaging and developing and just, keeping your people in your organization and feeling that this is where they want to stay, that their next move in their career is going to happen within your organization. It's terrific when, things like mentoring in particular make people feel valued. It makes them understand that they've got this agency over their own career and where they're going to go to next. So, as a retention and an attraction tool, and engaging people and developing people, mentoring just really adds up.
100%. I think I read somewhere actually the other day, and Gina, you'll know this way better than I do, so correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yep.
Something like 70-something% of people who are looking for work at the moment look for career progression and education and training as part of their new role.
Totally. Yeah. No, look, and particularly with younger workers, we're seeing, there's been a lot of surveys about millennials. We keep talking about millennials, but there's a lot of evidence to say that, as much as even more than salary, these things about opportunities and meaning and development of themselves are the things that are making people, that younger people in particular are looking for in organisations. that's not to say that older people aren't looking for these opportunities as well, because, so many of us are looking at having extended careers. And when you're in the latter half of your career, of course, a lot of it has got to do with, satisfaction about what you're doing and meaning in what you're doing. So, yeah, look, it's absolutely something that people are looking for.
100%. I feel like you just touched on a really important point there. Is yes, it's something that the younger generations are looking for, and 100%, like that's definitely been my experience in the emerging leader space. They want that, but also something that the older generations are looking for too. It's not just for them, mentoring can be for anybody.
Yeah.
And it can really help keep your staff with you, which is such a big problem for organizations at the moment. I mean, the lengths they have to go to sometimes just to fill a role, and that's all going to come back the other way in the next 12 months. Everyone's going to have to find a way to balance and stabilize again. But with what you do and with the art of mentoring and your topic particularly for the conference, what sort of results and what sort of outcomes can attendees for L&D professionals learn from you or expect as a result of putting some of the things you're going to teach into practice?
Sure. Yeah, look, one of the things we think is really important in a program like this, like anything that you're going to invest in, in the L&D space, or anything you're going to invest in, full stop, you need to be able to demonstrate that you're getting something from it. So I guess if I can take a step back, that starts right back at the beginning when you're wanting to put a mentoring program in. It's important to identify why, and that's why we talk about strategic mentoring. So, mentoring as a way of achieving those bigger goals and objectives of the organisation. That then gives you something that you're going to pin your evaluation onto. So, evaluation is a really, really important part of a strategic mentoring program. In terms of results, the kind of things that we're measuring and seeing come back from our clients, we like to evaluate at different levels. So, we get really great, our aim is 80% plus satisfaction from participants. So things like, how did they feel about the match that they had, about the journey that they took, about the level of support that they got, the level of structure. Strategic mentoring works really well when people feel safe within a program that if they need help, they know where they can go. So, things like training and prompts and reminders and resources they can go to. Not everybody needs them, but it's great to have them there. So when people feel satisfied with that, we know that they're having a positive experience. And I guess the relationship between the mentor and the mentee, it gets to take all their energy. They can get support and help in the process, but they can really put their time and their energy into working with each other. So satisfaction is one of our key variables. Also, that whole idea about the organisational purpose. What is it that people experienced at the end? Had they gone through changes? And when I say people, I don't just mean mentees as well. I'll come back to that. What did they learn? Were they able to articulate goals, and were they able to achieve those goals? Again, we expect really good results from that, 80% plus. And we're often finding that programs are getting 85, 90% of people saying, yep, I achieved at least some of my goals. A lot of people come out saying I achieved goals that I didn't even go in with. The conversation with their mentor has enabled the mentee to find something that they really want to work toward that they might not have realised to begin with. So we're getting lots of really good results about that, about their their commitment to their role, to their profession, to their organisation, feelings of networking within and outside of their actual organisation, depending upon the kind of program they're in, of course. So, there's a whole lot of different measures that we think are important. And of course, tying those back in with what's important in your organisation is critical as well, because then you can see that you're achieving what you did. The other thing is that at a higher level as well, we like to see organisations think about, what does this really mean for what our organisation does? So, for example, mentoring leading to different types of communication skills for mentees can then lead to greater client satisfaction. So it's not just, the person learned something, but they actually brought increased value to the organisation as well. That's really important to be evaluating on all those levels. We love to see, 80, 85, 90% of people coming back saying, fulfilled those goals, those aims for ourselves. It's really satisfying stuff. Yep.
Oh, absolutely. It just lights you up from the inside. I can see that as you're talking about it, and it's such an important piece of the puzzle moving forward for so many businesses. And You and I are located here in Australia. Art of Mentoring is actually in the US and breaking into that space too, which I think is perfect, because obviously this is a US L&D conference, and it's something a lot of people over there are experiencing before it gets to Australia. They tend to lead the way a little bit, and you're completely across that transition, and that, which I think is so incredibly powerful. And I know it's going to be such a great session. So, mic drop moment. What is your first and primary key message that you would love attendees of your session to walk away with?
You asked me this question before, Lindsay, and since we spoke, I've actually had a light bulb moment and thought about what it is that makes me love my job every day. One of the measures that we ask people when they leave the program, we ask both mentees and mentors, is to rate the experience. And we've had about 13,000 people go through as mentors and mentees. And across those, 46% of them say that the mentoring was one of the best things they've ever done in their career. So, in terms of impact on people, there's just no doubt about it all that mentoring leaves people feeling that they're valued, that they've really learned something about themselves, that they've gained some capabilities. I love my job. I hear these kind of stories about people's lives being changed every day. So that's my mic drop moment. 46% of people saying it's one of the best things they've ever done in their career.
Wow, that is mind-blowing. That is such a huge number. Incredible. I understand why you've changed to that as well. That is such an important part. But this, for you, all that aside, is your first experience in the Metaverse, you were telling me before, and you're going to be facilitating. So firstly, welcome to the dark side with the Metaverse. And secondly, how are you feeling going into something like this?
Oh, well, I'm a bit nervous. I mean, I thought I was pretty tech savvy, but, then I realised I've not stepped into the Metaverse. So I'm way behind, my teenage kids, for example. So very excited, very nervous. I think it's, for me, it's obvious that virtual communication, virtual networking, virtual interactions are the way we're going to go. And we love that in mentoring as well, because it gives people access to, relationships with a mentor or mentee at a distance. So that for me is really exciting. I feel like I'm on the precipice of the way we're going to be interacting internationally in the future. So thank you for providing me this opportunity to learn. I'm very, very excited.
We are very excited to have you. As I said before, Art of Mentoring is one of the most asked for suppliers by our forum members, and for us to be able to run this conference in the Metaverse and team up with Topia, who's the company that provides this Metaverse for all of us, it's such an incredible platform and experience, because for people that haven't been in the Metaverse before, which was me just quietly about 3 months ago before the last conference, it's a really easy way to get acquainted with what they're saying is going to be Internet 3.0 or the Web 3.0. It's a really user-friendly way to be able to get in. They make it so easy. So even if you're watching this and you haven't been in the Metaverse before, don't worry, we've got your back. Gina's jumping in to facilitate in the Metaverse for the first time, as her experience being in there. And if we can do that as an attendee, we've got you too. So definitely jump on board, even if you're like, I don't know if I want to try that and go to a conference at the first time. Absolutely easy place to get started is this conference here. We have so many incredible speakers lined up for you. We've got such an incredible agenda too. Gina is just one of our amazing people that will be sharing their knowledge with you as an L&D professional. So if you haven't yet RSVP'd, please make sure you do so. Somewhere around this video will be a link, as well as Gina will be tagged, so you'll be able to get more information about her and the Art of Mentoring too. So go off and RSVP if you haven't already. Make sure you connect with Gina if you haven't already. And we are so looking forward to seeing you at the conference. Thank you.